What is a confirmation of charges hearing?
The confirmation of charges hearing is not a trial. The confirmation of charges hearing is a public hearing during which a pretrial chamber of the International Criminal Court decides whether or not to confirm all or any of the charges brought by the prosecutor against the suspects, in this case Mr. Yekatom and Mr. Ngaïssona. If any of the charges are confirmed, the suspects are committed for trial before a trial chamber. At the confirmation of charges hearing, in the presence of the suspects and their counsel, the prosecutor is required to support each of the charges with sufficient evidence to establish substantial grounds to believe that Mr. Yekatom and Mr. Ngaïssona committed the crimes with which they are charged. The prosecutor may rely on documentary or summary evidence and call witnesses and experts. In this case, no witnesses or experts will be called by the parties at this stage of the proceedings. The hearing will take place before pretrial chamber 2. The chamber is composed of Judge Antoine Kessia Mbe Mindua, presiding judge, Judge Tomoko Akane, and Judge Rosario Salvatore Aitala. The pretrial chamber will hear oral submissions from the prosecutor, the legal representatives of the victims, and the defense. And the hearing is scheduled for 19 to 27 September 2019.
What are Mr. Yekatom and Mr. Ngaïssona suspected of?
Alfred Yekatom is alleged to be responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in various locations in the Central African Republic, specifically Bangui, Boing, and the Lobaye Prefecture, between 5th of December 2013 and at least August 2014, which includes murder, torture and cruel treatment, mutilation, intentional attack against the civilian population, intentional attack against buildings dedicated to religion, enlistment of children under the age of 15 years, and their use to participate actively in hostilities, displacement of the civilian population and destruction of the adversary's property as war crimes, and as crimes against humanity that includes murder, deportation or forcible transfer of population, imprisonment or other severe deprivation of physical liberty, torture, persecution, and other inhuman acts. As for Mr. Ngaïssona, he is alleged to be responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in various locations in the Central African Republic between at least 5th of December 2013 and at least December 2014, which includes murder and attempted murder, torture, cruel treatment, mutilation, outrages upon personal dignity, intentionally directing attacks against the civilian population, intentionally directing attacks against buildings dedicated to religion, pillaging, rape and attempted rape, enlistment of children under the age of 15 years and their use to participate actively in hostilities, displacement of the civilian population, and destruction of the property of an adversary as war crimes, and as crimes against humanity that would include murder and attempted murder, extermination, deportation or forcible transfer of population, imprisonment or other severe deprivation of physical liberty, torture, rape and attempted rape, persecution, and other inhuman acts.
Will victims be participating in this hearing? Can they request reparations?
The judges have given 1,096 victims permission to participate in the hearing. They will not be in the courtroom, but they will be represented by their legal representatives. The legal representatives of victims will attend the hearing and make opening and closing statements, explaining why the victims wish to participate in the proceedings and how their personal interests are affected. They will also be able to make submissions on matters of fact and law which might affect the interests of their clients. At this stage of the judicial process, there will be no decision in relation to reparations. Victims can seek reparations if the case is committed for a trial and the accused are convicted.
Who pays for the defense of the suspects?
The ICC bears the cost of the defense of the suspects in accordance with the legal aid scheme. Pending verification by the court, Mr. Yekatom and Mr. Ngaïssona have been provisionally found indigent, meaning that they cannot afford to pay for their defense.
What are the possible outcomes of the confirmation hearing?
Within 60 days of the hearing, the pretrial chamber will deliver a decision in which it may confirm those charges for which the chamber has determined that there is sufficient evidence and commit one or two of the suspects to a trial chamber for trial. The chamber may also decline to confirm those charges for which it has determined that there is no sufficient evidence and stop the proceedings against one or two of the suspects. The chamber may also adjourn the hearing and request the prosecutor to provide further evidence, to conduct further investigations, or to amend any charge for which the evidence submitted appears to establish that a crime other than the one charged was committed for one or both of the suspects. The defense and the prosecutor are not automatically entitled to appeal this decision, but they can request authorization from the pretrial chamber to do so.
What will happen if the charges are confirmed? And what if they are not confirmed?
If the pretrial chamber finds that there is sufficient evidence to support the charges, the chamber will then commit the suspects for trial. The ICC presidency will constitute a trial chamber that will be responsible for conducting the subsequent phase of the proceedings, which is the trial, and this chamber will be composed of 3 judges other than those who sat on the pretrial bench. After it is constituted, the trial chamber will hold a status conference, confer with the parties and participants in order to set the date for the opening of the trial, and adopt the procedures necessary to facilitate the fair and expeditious conduct of the proceedings. And, on the contrary, if none of the charges are confirmed and subject to possible appeal, the proceedings may end at the pretrial stage.
Where are the suspects currently being detained?
Since their transfer to the ICC, the suspects have been detained at the ICC detention center in Scheveningen, in The Hague, in the Netherlands. The detention center meets the highest international human rights standards for the treatment of detainees. Detained persons are presumed by the court to be innocent until and unless proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt.
Who are the judges sitting in this case?
Pretrial Chamber 2 of the ICC is composed of Judge Antoine Kessia Mbemindua from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Judge Tomoko Akane from Japan, and Judge Rosario Salvatore Aitala from Italy. The judges of the ICC are persons of high moral character, impartiality, and integrity. They possess the qualifications required in their respective states for appointment to the highest judicial offices. All have extensive experience relevant to the court's judicial activity. They are elected by the Assembly of States Parties on the basis of their established competence in criminal law and procedure and in relevant areas of international law, such as international humanitarian law and human rights law.